So, today we're going to go ahead and do a new series called Bad EZA, and I feel like the perfect unit that we're going to go ahead and talk about is TEQ SSJ3 Gotenks. When you take a look at this EZA disambiguation, what bad EZAs do you see? Pause the video and let me know down below. So, we're going to talk about TEQ SSJ3 Gotenks. I feel like it's very easy to point out the bad in this card. The biggest thing about this card is the fact that he has to be at or below that 11 or less key threshold to get his defense. Pretty much that is what it is, but there is a case that you could make because this guy is a battle road meta unit that he does perform well in battle road considering you do a nuking strategy. That's very interesting. What is his best linking partner? Let's go ahead and take a quick peek. I should have brought this up before I started the video up. Don't worry, I'll have it up next time. So let's go ahead and grab up Gotenks. Gotenks' best linking partner is who? In Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, and clearly he is not out at the time, so it would have to be this guy who is out at the time. And he is on Super TEQ, well, TEQ in general, because you could run him on this guy's TEQ leader skill. So there was no link levels back then, so that would be up to 30% attack and 5 key. And although you technically wouldn't get that defense, you would be doing a lot of damage to those bosses in Battle Road. So a nuking strategy running him right next to this Teen Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks could work. It definitely could work. But outside of like a nuking strategy, this guy is essentially a sitting duck in Battle Road. Like, you could run him in Fusion Battle Road at the time, which was a tough stage. You could run him inside Super TEQ Battle Road at the time. But realistically, this guy's not sealing, he's not stunning, and he's also not lowering attack. It's like he's greatly lowering defense, which is very, very worthless. Now, what I could say about this card is good is the fact that they did buff his leader skill as they did with all the god leaders, with making them 4 key and 100% the stats. So he does have a good leader skill at the time of his post-EZA, of course. And the fact that he went from extreme damage into supreme damage, because let's just be completely honest, imagine this guy still having extreme damage. That would just be ridiculously bad. So, with that being said, the nuking strategy could work, but the fact that this guy has to be at 11 key or less is just ridiculous. It's like you're a 2019 EZA with a one-liner passive, post-EZA. But it's weird because we take a look at his passive. We technically do have a lot of attack when performing a super, which is obviously really nice, but we have to be below or at this key threshold, which is very weird because he's a over in a flash / fuse fighter unit, which I would argue that these two links were meta back then. So it just creates this weird oddity where he wants to be right next to a Super Saiyan 3 unit slash a fusion unit, but the problem is that there would be key issues to keep this guy at or below that defensive, well, not defensive, that at that key threshold. It's very weird. It's very weird how they did this EZA. Why couldn't they just give him 140% attack and defense on super? It just makes a whole lot of sense, and they could just gave him like a chance to stun or greatly lower attack and defense. That would help this guy a lot, because that would make him a much more efficient option for Battle Road, because I'm pretty certain there were better options for Fusion Super Battle Road at the time of this guy's release. I'm pretty certain there were. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty certain there were better options at the time. But he is actually a runnable option there because he will do a lot of damage, enough to finish off the enemy. But, like, outside of that, some coming months later when, because if you guys really take a look at it, he is a pre-LGE meta unit. Well, he's a Battle Road meta unit, but I'm saying pre-LGE because he comes out before Legendary Goku event. So him being a pre-Legendary Goku event meta unit, he's TEQ, he has to be at or below that key threshold. Listen, it already hurts that he's a TEQ type unit, but there's nothing here. He's clearly not stacking, he's not doing anything, so he would get completely blown off the screen. So I think that is really about it. Who cares about his 200% leader skills? He's on a lot of leader skills, but I mean, who cares about leader skills? He's on a lot of categories. He's on a lot of categories, but essentially the main issue with him is the fact that he is a fuse fighter / over in a flash unit that wants to be at or below that key threshold for his defense. I would say the positives is the fact that this guy does gain supreme damage for his 12 key. He does get a better leader skill, and you could technically say that this guy had a good EZA for the time because he could blitz Battle Road, which was a strategy, but far and away his EZA just ages like milk. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. You guys are the best. I'll catch you guys next video. I love you all. Peace.